Okay. Can you guys, everyone see this? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Happy Friday. I am Leah. I'm the project manager for Clark. This is Paige. She's our director of operations. So yeah, what Mike said, we're going to tell you a little bit more about what Clark is, what Clark offers, how to navigate Clark, and how you might be able to even contribute to Clark. So Clark is actually a product of a nonprofit called Secure Ed. It is a free repository of free cybersecurity curriculum. I know everyone kind of gets always a little crazy with the word free. There's no gimmicks, there's no hidden fees or anything. It's truly free curriculum for teachers to use. Our mission here is to help educate the future cybersecurity workforce. And in doing so, we're hosting free curriculum for teachers to use will make that a little bit easier. It's built and run by a team of students. We're divvied out to two teams. We have a content team that I run that I'll talk a little bit more in detail about how that curriculum review process goes. And then Paige leads the development team and they build all the infrastructure. They keep us running, they keep us efficient, and they make Clark very easy to use. So, and then, of course, a shout out, since we're a nonprofit, we would not be running if we didn't have partners like the folks that you see here on our screen. Special shout out to Insight, who's been one of our partners for over 5 years. So, like I said, we wouldn't be up and running if it wasn't for the support of this community. So who is Clark? So Clark is not a person as much as we'd like to think they are. Clark is an acronym that stands for Cybersecurity Labs and Research Knowledge Base. And it was founded by Dr. Kaza and Dr. Taylor. And Clark just celebrated their 7th birthday. So here you can kind of see a screenshot, an overview of what Clark offers. So we host curriculum all the way starting at the K-12 level, all the way up to undergrad, postgrad, and training resources. So what we host, it's not just syllabus. It's very interactive, hands-on curriculum, full lectures with PowerPoints, labs, homeworks, you name it. There's even video content. It's very dense and high quality curriculum that's very usable in the classroom. On the right, you can see just a couple of examples of some popular topics: network security, secure by design, cyber law, just to name a few. And later in the presentation, I'll be doing a little demo just so you guys can get a little familiar with Clark and how it looks and how to navigate it. Like I said, and I'll keep saying it, it's very easy to use.
And all of the curriculum is built by educators. This isn't something that is being generated by any of us on our team. These are things that all of you within the community are using in your classrooms to teach these topics, which also offers a lot of really great insights into how these actually get implemented to teach our students all of these really important tasks and skills that they need to have for their future careers. And that's why we also map to a number of different frameworks. So if you're familiar with the NICE framework or the Department of Defense's workforce framework, we have curriculum that aligns directly to those things. So it makes it really easy to apply that to your students and things that they might actually go out into the workforce and do. I also teach adjunct at Towson University, and I use a lot of the material from Clark. And it's really awesome to be able to say, hey, this lab, this is something that you might actually get paid to do. And I didn't have to do any of that mapping. Those people that have already built this curriculum can do that for us, which is a really amazing kind of feature and collaboration that we can have on Clark.
So just to kind of dive a little bit more deep into kind of what curriculum we have in terms of length. So we have anything starting at what we call a nanny module, which is an exercise or a lesson that would take up to an hour, all the way up to curriculum that's a full course, like a full semester's worth with lectures, PowerPoints, labs, you name it. Like I said, those are the very interactive, dense curriculum that we have on Clark. And then you'll see here a handful of collections that we host on Clark. In this presentation, we're going to highlight some of Nsight's curriculum and some of Gen Cyber's. But these are all mostly grant-funded curriculum that we have on Clark. Um, Now I want to talk a little bit how we review everything. So I'm going to sound like a broken record because, our mission is not only to have free curriculum for teachers, but we want high quality classroom ready. So in order to do so, every curriculum that gets submitted in goes through an extensive review process. We make sure there's no spelling, no grammar, no formatting issues, no broken links, making sure there's no missing materials, everything is cohesive. So that goes through a team of students that work on that every day. So again, we're not just putting things willy-nilly on Clark. We want to make sure it's high quality. So everyone always asks, who is Clark? They never ask, how is Clark? Well, Clark is doing great. As you can tell, we're really passionate about Clark. Even if we're just making a tiny difference, we feel like we're making some difference to the cyber security, education community. So, as you can see here, we have over 1,800 learning objects currently public on Clark. 60,000 learning objects have been downloaded. We have over 14,000 users. So this almost equates to about 20,000 hours of curriculum, which is crazy. And these numbers keep growing. Like I said, we're passionate. We always like to get the word out. As much as we love people to contribute, we really want people to use this curriculum. And again, in the demo, I'll show you how you can do so and all that good stuff. So what's available on Clark? So here is our little screenshot of our Nsight collection that we have. They're one of our most widely and most popular used curriculum that we have. They have over 100 learning objects, and within those learning objects, they have 4 full courses. One which is brand new that I'll be talking about next, and actually one that's coming soon that we're really excited about. So this is what's brand new to Clark. It's a health, privacy, and security curriculum. It's a full course that has 6 modules within it. As you can see this, and this is kind of, you'll see this when I walk through Clark, this is kind of the screenshot info page of the curriculum. So this course hosts weekly lectures, labs, and online sessions. Nsight's curriculum is fantastic. It's very interactive. There's so much material. And when I walk you through Clark, the beautiful thing about is that you don't have to use this entire course. You're going to be able, you can pick and choose, you can grab one lecture, one PowerPoint, or you can use the whole thing. And in instances like this, where we get big courses or just a big curriculum that has a lot of material, we like to put it in a hierarchy. So it's easier for you to navigate and easier for you to use. And so, for example, this course is the parent and has 6 children. Again, I'll show you that a little bit more in the demo, but just wanted to mention that in the meantime. So coming soon to Clark, which we're very excited about, is Nsight's AI curriculum. As you can imagine, AI is all people can talk about these days, and we are asking for people to put more AI on Clark because, like I said, it's going nowhere and it's really important in the cyber world. So this curriculum is currently in the review process with the content team and should be live in public on Clark beginning of February. But I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek in the next coming slides of what that curriculum entails. So the course is called AI Security, Privacy, and Governance Concepts. This is a course for undergrads that has 10 modules. Again, the 10 modules include case studies, class and homework activities, several hands-on labs. It's a very interactive course, as you can imagine. And again, we're excited to have this on Clark very soon. And then here are some of the topics within that course. So emerging trends in AI, business considerations, societal impact, So again, this is where you can kind of see where if like one of those topics within that course interests you, there's a lot to choose from. And then the AC, the heat just kicked on, so hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. So another collection I want to highlight, which I'm a little biased, it's one of my favorite collections. It's our Gen Cyber collection. It's all of our K through 12 curriculum. So as you can imagine, all this curriculum is super fun and very creative. Again, there's lessons for kindergartners, which is so cool that, trying to teach cyber at such a young age, which obviously is so important. So I'll highlight one of the Gen Cyber lessons in the next slide. So I wanted to highlight this one in particular because this one's in Spanish, which is very cool. We're starting to see some more bilingual lessons come in. So for example, this is a Spanish Gen Cyber lesson by Lois Palin from University of Maryland. Um, Something we'd love to see more of on Clark, and we're hoping to get some curriculum in Korean coming soon.
Mhm.
So again, I really wanted to highlight this one because this is, with Clark, obviously it's all cybersecurity related curriculum, but the more diverse, the better. We want to offer a wide variety of things that faculty can choose from.
And another cool thing about the Gen Cyber collection is that there are so many activities that don't necessarily require computers or technology to teach some of the basics of, cybersecurity, even going to like some of the basics of confidentiality and authentication and authorization. There's a lot of kind of offline activities that are really great to not just for those K-12, but can also really be integrated into maybe intro classes to kind of give people some introduction to what cyber is without getting them right onto a computer. But there are also really great activities for camps, or if there's going to be, hosting activities on your campus. Some of them have also been adapted by different clubs that have hosted K-12 events. So Gen Cyber is really a collection that can be used for a lot of different things, which is super exciting and really fun to see. Okay. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about different types of ways that you can go through curriculum on Clark. And Leah is going to go over a little bit more when we do the demo. But one thing that we really like to highlight is that alignment to those different guidelines and standards. Now, if you're within the CAE community, you're most likely very familiar with the knowledge units that we all have to align to during our designation and redesignation. We have curriculum that is aligned to that has been shared by members of the community that have used it for that purpose. And you can search for that. You can look on Clark, and Leah will also show you that there's a way for people to also leave their comments and ratings on those different pieces of material. And we're always looking to get feedback on those. Our authors love to see that their curriculum is not only being used, but also being adapted in different ways. And one of the ways that's really easy to find those things that might align to what you're looking for is using different standards and guidelines. So on top of the CAE knowledge units and the NICE workforce framework and the DCWF that I already mentioned, we also have a few that are a little bit more community college focused. We do have the Cyber 2-year 2020, as well as a few of the other older CAE cyber defense knowledge units and cyber operations knowledge units. And we're always looking to expand upon this as well into possibly state or other types of frameworks. But these are the ones that we have for right now, and it makes it really easy if you're looking for a very, very specific maybe knowledge unit or a task or a skill within the NICE workforce framework. You can come in and look for that and see if there's a piece of curriculum that aligns to that. And if you're teaching curriculum that aligns to those things, we'd love to have it on Clark as well, to kind of share that with the community and help people teach those really important things to our students. And I know I talked a little bit about already that the content is really built and curated by the community. And one of the ways that we do this and allow people to use this curriculum is through our licensing agreement. So every piece of curriculum on Clark is licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share Alike 4.0 International. Quite a long list, but essentially what this allows you to do as consumers of the curriculum is share it, remix it, and reuse it in any way that you might need for your classroom. So the modularization that Leah highlighted before, and she'll show again during the demo, if you want to just use one single slide from a piece of curriculum that you find on Clark, you are more than welcome to do that using this license. If you really just like the one exam question or the one lab worksheet, you don't have to use the whole piece of curriculum. You can kind of fit it in where you need it. This has been really amazing for me as I've only been teaching for about 3 years, starting to build kind of like my curriculum database of different topics that I'm teaching. It's great to kind of come onto Clark and see what's new and maybe what people are teaching. And then if I see a network diagram that I really like, or if there's an activity, I can just pull that and attribute it back to the original author, and I can plug and play that in my class really easily. What's really cool too about this license is that I can remix it. So if there is a lab that I'm like, maybe I only want them to find 3 out of the 5 vulnerabilities instead of 4 out of the 5. I can go in and make that change because this license allows that. There's really nothing that bars me from doing that. And another thing that I've been trying to do too is if I'm making significant changes to a piece of curriculum to fit what I'm doing, I want to share that back on Clark as well. So that license allows us to continually update all of this material, but not just the author that's putting it up there, but also the community at large.
So now I'm going to walk you guys through a demo of basically how to find curriculum, how to browse, and even how to potentially contribute to Clark. Bear with me. All right. So everyone can still see this, correct? What I'm doing? Okay. So Clark is easy to access. It's clark.center. Let me get this away. Just minus. Okay. So to register for Clark, you do not need a .edu email address. You can use a Gmail, you can use Yahoo, whatever email you prefer. I just always like to point that out because a lot of people just assume they need a .edu to use Clark, but anyone really can use Clark. So what you'll want to do if you aren't already registered, you want to go in and register and then verify your email address, and then you can start using Clark however you'd like, whether it's browsing, downloading, or even contributing. So I'm going to sign in here, so bear with me for a moment. Okay. So this is Clark's beautiful homepage. One thing I want to call out here, which you'll see on every page that you click on Clark, is this banner up here on the top. We host office hours twice a week. So if you click here, it will tell you when the office hours are. This is an opportunity if you're struggling to find something on Clark, you have any questions, or you may need help uploading curriculum on Clark. This is an opportunity for you one member of our team will be on these office hours to answer any questions you may have. But for some reason, these times don't ever work for you. Our contact info will be at the end of this presentation, so certainly don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always happy to set up one-on-one meetings if necessary. So back to Clark. So let's talk about how you can browse. So easily, the first thing you can do is use this nice little search box up here. If there's any keywords that you're looking for, you know exactly what you have in mind. You can just type it in there. So let's say we're looking for healthcare related curriculum, and then here everything that has healthcare in the curriculum will pop up on this search. And then the next thing I want to call out before so actually let me go to this. So then you can also search by collections. So again, these are the grant funded collections that we have here on Clark. Here's Insight and Gen Cyber that I mentioned. So you can also search by collection. You can search by topic, which is in alphabetical order. Another thing I want to call out here is our micro grant proposal. So there's always specific curriculum that we're looking for more of on Clark. For example, secure coding is one of them. So if you are interested and think you may have some curriculum that could be of interest, certainly check this out. It will take you to a separate page highlighting what we're looking for. And then if that's the case, we are offering some small funding to folks who might have this curriculum. So if that's something of interest, certainly check that out. So let me go back to where I was. So let's say I really wanted to find some Insight. I wanted to find some curriculum within Insight. So I'm going to go to collections, going to go to Insight, and then you hit browse collection. And again, here are all the Insight learning objects. And then what I really want to focus your attention is on the filters on the left side of the screen. So here you can see you can search by collection. You can also search by length. So I want to hit course because I want to see all the courses that Insight has. So like I mentioned before, Insight has 4 full courses. So here they are. You can also search by topic.
What about popularity?
Yeah, so that's actually coming. I'm going to give a quick update on some of the features that are coming to Clark. And as we're starting to get more ratings onto Clark, that's something we've been really pushing for the past couple of months. We're going to be able to launch that feature so that you can get the top in popularity object. So we're working on that one.
Yep.
Awesome, thanks.
Great question. So the next is type of material. If you're really only looking for video content, level, if you're looking for a specific level, what you're teaching in your classroom, and then guidelines of what Paige mentioned earlier. If there's some specific guidelines that you're really trying to teach in your classroom, you can even filter by that as well. So let me go into a curriculum to show you how it looks and how you can kind of navigate it as well. So I'm going to go into the critical infrastructure curriculum that Insight has. So a couple things I want to call out here. So back to your question of popularity and being able to search through that. So this is how people can do it. So right here we offer a rating system now where people actually can go in and rate curriculum and leave, not even just rate it by the stars, can leave comments as well. This has been really insightful. Well, first of all, we're excited to be able to add the feature where you can search and filter through ratings, but also too, it helps us because most of the comments are very, I just use the same word, but very insightful. They'll tell us how they use the curriculum, what they liked about it, or something they may have changed about it. They would change about it. So we really like this feature, and we're starting to see more and more users use it. And then over another piece of usability, you can see over here is saves and downloads. So you can see that 71 people have saved this course and 90 people have downloaded it. So that's another way we track our usage on Clark. And also too, that our users can see too how much it's getting used, and that also Insight can see how much their stuff is being downloaded. So this page, when you click on the curriculum, just kind of gives you an overview. This is the hierarchy piece that I talked about. So you can see that this says it's a parent of, and if you click here, it shows the 11 modules, well, children, as we call them, here that you can navigate as well. So this is a great example where Paige was saying if you want to pull and pick from a course, you don't want to use the whole thing. Let's say you really want to teach risk management, and there you go. You can click on risk management. And the nice thing is it's all still connected. So you'll always know where it came from. You can always go back to the course. So again, it will say parent of, and then here are all the children and the modules that fall underneath of that course.
Yep. And if you did want to get everything, the download button that appears here will actually download all of that material that is under that as well. So all of those topics and all those children will come down for you in one download. So if you're someone who really likes to just go through the files on your own machine, you can do that as well. Or you can view it in Clark like that.
Yeah, so just to jump back on what Paige just said, so if you scroll down here, you can see all the materials that are attached to this course. Of course, you can go in and download them individually, but if you want everything, you can hit this download now button and it will put everything into a zip file. So again, you can download things individually, or download now puts everything into a zip. And that is the case on every piece of curriculum that you click on. So again, you'll see a description of the course, the learning outcomes. This is where you'll see mappings as well. It will tell you the academic level, and again, the materials that and the links that are associated with this course. So again, pretty easy to navigate, easy to download, easy to use, and easy to find curriculum as well. So a couple different ways you can search. But again, any questions, we have office hours. We also have time for questions at the end of this presentation as well. But just wanted to get you guys kind of familiar and just kind of getting your eyes used to what Clark looks like, because we love for you guys all to be active users. Really quickly, I just want to show you how you can contribute to Clark. So you'll see this nice little button up here that says contribute, that no matter what page you go on Clark, it's going to be there. So you'll click on contribute. It'll bring you to this page, and then you'll hit new. So it's very simple. It's kind of like filling out an application. Just a couple things I wanted to point out here. I'm not going to walk through all the steps, but you'll see up here that you cannot move to the next page of the form essentially until you filled out the first one. But the page of that curriculum, that end site I just showed you, this is how it all comes together. So, you'll put the title, you'll put how long, what academic level, a little description of the learning object. And then when you move on to the learning outcomes, we use the Bloom-based methodology to build your learning outcomes. And then once you put those in, you then can go to materials, and that's where you can upload all of your Word documents, PowerPoints, whatever is associated with that lesson. And then you'll hit submit for review. And that's when it goes goes hands off to the content team. And that's where we go through the whole content review process, making sure everything, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and everything looks good. And, we have a pretty strict checklist of, what means it's, user ready. And if there's any major changes, we won't make those without contacting you, the author. Obviously if it's a quick spelling error, those things can go through, but anything major, we always reach out to the author to make sure before we make any changes. So again, that's a very, very brief overview of how to contribute. I more so wanted to focus on the browsing part of Clark. But thanks to Paige and her amazing team, this Clark is very easy to use, and for users and for us, and they're continuing to make it even more efficient and better every day, as she'll talk about some highlights that are coming. So that is Clark. I'm going to go back to our presentation. So again, I'm repeating myself, but I like to repeat myself, especially on this part of Clark. It really is easy to use and easy to upload. We're here to help. And again, we want people to use it, and we want people to contribute curriculum. So what is Clark up to? Well, Clark doesn't take many vacations, unfortunately. They're always up to something. So what a big project we've been working on the content side is a relevancy review. So as you all know, cybersecurity is ever changing. It changes every minute. So, all the curriculum that is on Clark that's 2019 and older, we have been polling to make sure that everything's still relevant. As you can imagine, some courses and some material may need more updates than others. In those instances, we've reached out to the author and have asked them to work on updates for us, which has been a very positive responses. We have a lot of authors actually currently working on updates for us. And again, I go back to what I keep saying is that high quality classroom ready curriculum. So we want to make sure everything's up to date and relevant. So this is an ongoing process. So we just started with this, these 2019 and older, but again, it's be something we're going to continue doing down the road. And then, I guess before Paige, jumps into what's kind of also coming soon is, like I said, you can't tell, we're very passionate about Clark. Our motto is we're securing the nation through education. We're excited to always share about it. We want more people to use it and more people to contribute. So thank you for letting us present and talk about Clark. And yeah, I'll let Paige talk about some stuff that's coming soon.
Yep. So on top of keeping the content up to date, we also do our best to try and make it as easy as possible to find the material that you're looking for. So we're constantly adding to our metadata of all of the learning objects to make it easy to find what you're looking for. So if you are looking for video content, you can filter by that right now. If you're looking for a specific topic, if you're interested in browsing a specific collection or a specific level, if you teach, K through 12, or if you teach community college or four-year postgrads, but we are going to be rolling out some new features to make that a little bit more granular. So if you're looking for content that's good for clubs, or if you're looking for content that is suitable to be kind of mixed and matched together, that will be coming in the spring of this year. We're also actively working on the ability to filter and sort by popularity within those topics, within those collections, so that you as the users can see what other people are using and how they're using it. And then being able to read those comments and reviews is not only useful to us as a team looking at the content we have, but then also to all of you to make that decision as to if this piece of curriculum could actually fit what you're looking for. So all of that's coming soon. You can keep an eye on Clark. We have an amazing marketing team as well. They are also mostly students. So it's really great to see them learn and work with our curriculum as well.
But again, thank you guys all for your time, especially on a Friday for you guys Friday morning. But yeah, we're open to questions or, whatever else we have time for.
And here's our emails if you'd like to get in touch with either of us.
Well, thanks, Paige and Leah. I have a good question. You mentioned the review part, and is that something that's done internally, or do you, could that be somebody that you would put on a contract to help you do the review?
It's all it's all internally. It's all students who do the review process.
And then the micro grant that you brought up, it really highlights the areas that you guys are looking for additional curriculum in. How do you get my proposals and review those?
So we have gotten a few. We just launched this in October. So we have a few that we're actually processing right now. We work very closely with the NCAC Cybersecurity Curriculum Task Force, and they are the ones that are actually reviewing a lot of those recommendations, but they're small grants. We're really looking for the material that's already being used in classrooms. So we're not really looking for anybody to do a heavy lift of building something brand new. But if you have a really nice lab or a piece of curriculum or a lesson that really fits those topics, we would love to have it on Clark. And the micro grant is really just a way for us to help a little bit monetarily to get that in.
Thanks.
Cool. And I saw a question in the chat here for how many hours or credits they may carry. So the curriculum on Clark is mostly geared towards educators. So you might use it in like a 3-credit class. You might use it in a 4-credit class. If you decide only to use part of it, then it might just be a very small part. So our goal is really to create extendable curriculum that doesn't have to necessarily fit into a certain amount of credit hours or something like that. With that being said, a lot of the courses on Clark, when you're reading the descriptions, do have like, this is designed for a 3-credit course, or this specific module is for a 1-credit lab. But not all of them have that. It really just dependent on the author. And I guess to answer the second part of the question, and feel free to stop me if I'm not answering it. The credit hours to borrow, you can use as much as you would like. And you can take as many different pieces of curriculum on Clark. I know I have one lesson in my intro class that I've borrowed from 6 different learning objects, just because there was a lot on that topic and I liked like one slide from each one. So I was able to pull that all together. So you can really mix and match as much as you want. Make sure that you've accepted our cookie agreement if you are having trouble registering. We use Google Analytics to track usage on our platform. So just make sure that you have done that. Okay. I could take a look for you. That's a common issue that we have. The other thing, make sure that your password is of the correct length and things like that. And that your email is also valid.
And verified.
That's after registration.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'm not sure about how long. It didn't say. If somebody wants to, Richard, if you want to type back in.
Oh, how long the password had to be?
Oh,
should we say?
it should be, you should see an error message that pops up that tells you 8 characters, upper, lower, special character, and a number. I hope that answers your question.
If anybody else has questions, feel free to come off the microphone and ask.
Yeah, I was just wondering, how do we need to put reference? Is there some, do you have a sort of example way of how to give reference or attribute the lab to the creator? Is there a page that shows that?
Okay, cool. Yes. If you go to any of the details pages for the learning objects on Clark, so if you go here, this is actually the correctly formatted attribution, and you can copy that right to your clipboard and paste it exactly where you're using it.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. Anybody else?
But I want to say one thing I learned today was that community feature you have. I mean, the feature that you can actually go in and that you can go in and meet with you guys a couple times a month. Is that new?
We started that last semester, really just looking to support members of the community that want to use Clark. And I know we get to talk at events like this, but if you'd like to talk with our team one-on-one about maybe finding a piece of curriculum that you're looking for, if you had questions about attribution, if you're using a piece of curriculum in a different way, and we can help guide you. So that was kind of our main goal behind setting up these times. They're for 2 hours. We tried to put them at a time that could work for East Coast, West Coast, and people in the Midwest. But again, we always love to meet with people that are using Clark and the materials.
Do you guys have like a newsletter or something to keep people informed who are part of that? Like there's new curriculum that's available or?
Yep. So twice a month, sometimes once a month, depending on what we have. We do have an email that will go out as long as you are subscribed to our emails. Once you sign up, you're kind of automatically added to our list. So we try to highlight a collection. We also try to highlight a piece of material and also some authors that have taken the time to submit to Clark and work with the material. We also have a LinkedIn page and a Facebook and an Instagram where we also feature curriculum. So if you'd like to stay up to date on that, I think we post a few times a week. So we try to keep people up to date on all of the great stuff that we have coming on Clark from the community.